got her done. The Kenny Pull 150 is in the books. It took place Sunday, June 1st, 2025 at Scotia Speed World. Of course, that's what we're going to talk about today. In-depth review of the first race of the season, and we'll get you set for race 2, set for Petty International Raceway next weekend. That is Saturday, June 7th. Man, Kenny Pull 150. It was great to see the boys back in town on the Maritime Pro Stock Tour. 15 cars ready to do battle for the first checkered flag that was up for grabs in the 2025 season, the 25th season of the Fort Garry Industries Maritime Pro Stock Tour, and the boys delivered. Great show right off the hop, great practice, great heats, and a good feature. Listen, in terms of who was there, you got the entry list from my last show. Notable absences: no Caden Tufts, who was supposed to join us, no Matt Palmer, who was supposed to join us, and poor Stevie Lively. I mean, had every intentions on joining the show, but unfortunately a blown motor in practice earlier in the week cost him his chance to compete for this one. So hopefully you turn it around quick, Stevie, find a good solution, and we want to see you back on track soon. This is a guy that hasn't missed a start in 4, if not 5 seasons on the tour. So hopefully we see you soon, Stevie. Best of luck to you and the team. A couple of guys making their Pro Stock Tour debuts on Sunday for the Kenny Pull 150. One guy really making his true debut aboard the 80 M&M Sheet Metal Chevrolet. That is Alex Johnson from Enfield, making his first start on the Maritime Pro Stock Tour. Alex, of course, no stranger to the sportsman division at Scotia Speed World, where for the last 3 years he finished third in points. Finished runner-up in points, for the last 3 years, and third in points in 2021. So part of the big three of the sportsman class at Scotia Speed World, himself, Peter Miller, and Devin Smith battling for victory more often than not over the last few years. Great to see Alex make his Pro Stock debut. Probably not the day they wanted. We'll come back to that. And the second guy that was not making his Pro Stock debut, but a return to the Maritime Pro Stock Tour after a few years of absence, was Braden Langell coming back after running a full-time season with Nova Racing in 2018 and being sort of the test driver to the stars, if you will. Braden often shaking down the Nova Racing car that was prepared for the IWK 250 NASCAR All-Stars to come and race with us. Braden was making a return to the Pro Stock Tour after a prolonged absence, so it was great to see him back on track, and they did have a good day. They were quick in practice, did well in the heats, and came home with a very decent finish in the feature. So we'll get back to all that. Let's take a look at who our field was for the Kenny Pull 150. Well, after all was said and done, after a rain delay that postponed the race from May 24 to this weekend, May 31st, we didn't get it in on Saturday, May 31st, but we were able to get it in yesterday on June 1st. And it was a field of 15 cars that ended up competing for the win that day. No Caden Tufts, that was previously on the entry list, no Matt Palmer, and no Stevie Lively. So we're supposed to have 18. There's the 3 that we're missing. Stevie Lively, had every intention of being there, but unfortunately blew a motor in practice earlier in the week. So listen, let's hope that team can turn things around quickly, and we'll see them soon again on the Maritime Pro Stock Tour. I don't think Stevie has missed a race in the last 4 or 5 seasons, so best of luck to you guys. Hope we see you on the track soon. So, how did things shake down for the day? You know who was there. Now let's see how it went. Practice, one thing was evident pretty early on. So 3 practice sessions is how this thing works. 20 minutes each, and the 83 of Corey Hall was just up front, sometimes by quite a bit in each and every single practice session. So you knew he was going to be quick. That said, Corey is not someone that chases outright speed and lap time in practice. He's someone that is more after chasing drivability and long run speed in these cars. So yes, it's great that he was fast, but that's not what he was after. So it just goes to show what kind of a hot rod he had underneath him. And of course, he would go on to win the feature, but more on that later. So in terms of practice, like I said, Corey Hall really ran the table for all 3 sessions, led the fast group, of course. So what happens after practice is you've got in a race such as this, where you've got 15 cars signed up, you would divide them into 2 heats as equally as possible. So you've got a heat of 8 cars and a heat of 7 cars. The fast group was led by Corey Hall. You also had Ryan Van Oerscott in that group, as well as Ashton Tucker, Braden Langell, Austin McDonald, Marty Prevost, and Russell Smith Jr. And in your first heat, you had the 25G of Gage Gilby, the 0 of Sam Rogers, the 11V of Jordan Vino. Chris Hughes was there, as well as Tyler Haas in the 72, new number for him this year. The 80 of Alex Johnson, the 54 of Jared Butcher, and the 36 of Garry Elliott. And you had some movers there. Jordan Vino picking up 1 spot in that heat race, and Jared Butcher charging all the way from the back row to 3rd. Gage Gilby would hold the lead that he drew from the random draw that's made to assign the cars starting order in their respective heats. So because he held on to that would put him on pole for the feature, the Kenny Upol 150. Second heat also saw some movers. You had Corey Hall taking the lead after starting second, and followed by Ryan Van Oerscott, Ashton Tucker, Austin McDonald, and Braden Langell. So once the heat racing was done, this is what the starting lineup would look like for your feature, the Kenny Upol 150. Like I said, 25G of Gage Gilby, having retained the lead from his heat group, would start on pole. Next to him would be the 11V of Jordan Vino. Behind in row 2, you would have Sam Rogers lining up next to Jared Butcher. Row 3 was Chris Hughes and Corey Hall, followed by Ryan Van Oerscott and Ashton Tucker. The next row had Austin McDonald and Braden Langell, followed by Russell Smith Jr. and the 72 of Tyler Haas. Garry Elliott and the 11 of Marty Prevost would be in the second to last row, and starting in the final position was the 80 of Alex Johnson, making his Pro Stock Tour debut. Now, I did catch up with Alex after the practice before the heats, and here's what he had to say about making his Maritime Pro Stock Tour debut. And we found Alex Johnson for the FGI Maritime Pro Stock Tour Hot Pass podcast. Alex, first starting a Pro Stock, you've got 3 practice sessions under your belt. What's going through your mind right now?
Just a lot of learning, really. Just trying to take in closing speeds and, like all the points of braking and going back on the fuel. But so far, so good.
So far, so good. After 3 practices, getting ready to go heat racing. What do you think is your mindset going to be when it counts with these guys?
Today's just a learning day for us. Just going to try to stay out of the way and run 150 laps in the feature and just hopefully learn a lot.
All right, well, listen, best of luck to the 80 of Alex Johnson, sportsman star making his Pro Stock debut. Can't wait to see you out there, man.
Thank you.
And unfortunately, would not be as long of a learning day as Alex would have hoped for. They had to retire the car on lap 62, some issues there, but at least that's 62 laps behind his belt, kept it clean, didn't get in trouble, didn't get in the way. Not 150 laps, as I said, which was the goal, but at least they have a car to compete in again. The car was in one piece at the end of the day, so great debut for Alex Johnson, and can't wait to see him on track again next time. Now, after speaking to the rookie after practice, I caught one of our veterans, Russell Smith Jr., in the tech shed before heading out heat racing after 3 practices. And we know that last season wasn't up to snuff for the Nova Racing 88 team. They had hoped to do a lot better. They're used to doing a lot better. So what was the key to turning things around, to going back to the front in 2025? Here's what Russell Smith Jr. had to say. Found the 88 of Russell Smith Jr. after 3 practice sessions. He's on the board for quick times. New car this year, Russ?
Yeah, brand new car to us. We had Van Dorn build a brand new car, up to date. It was actually my first brand new car I ever sat my ass in, so hopefully it's good at every track. It's good here today, and hopefully it's good through the whole race.
Now, last year, we know not the start of the season you wanted. Things did improve by the end. Results started coming your way. What's the key to sort of turning things around and going back to the front this year?
So last year was a write-off. I wasn't happy last year at all. We did find speed, but it still wasn't enough. Just seemed like everything we did all year backtracked on us. But this car here today, like we unloaded in Antigonish a couple weeks ago and tested it was pretty good, and we unloaded it here the other night, tested it was pretty good. So I knew we had something good to work with to start. So
having that said, what are your expectations for today? What's the goal for the Kenny Upol 150?
My goal is always to win. I don't go to the racetrack without that mindset to win. I just need the luck got to come with the win. I mean, everybody can have a good car, but at the end of the day, if you're tore up, you're tore up.
Well, that's just it. So listen, I will wish you good luck for today. The Kenny Upol 150 Race 1. That was the 88 of Russell Smith Jr. Thanks, Russ.
Thank you.
Well, you heard Russie say brand new race car for the 88 team this year. They had Van Dorn build them a brand new race car. The first brand new race car that Russie's ever said is quote unquote ass in. Gonna have to talk to the editor about that one, if we're leaving that in or not. Oh, wait, no, I'm the editor, and guess what? We're leaving that in because it's fun. Great to see Russie, though, in better spirits, hungry for a win again, and knowing that they can do a lot better this year, and that last year was really a down year, a blip on the radar, and they're looking forward to getting after it again in 2025. Unfortunately, not the result that the 88 Nova Racing team would have hoped for in the Kenny Upol 150, I'm sure. Coming home P10 one lap down is probably not what they had in mind, but they can get back at it and get after it next time at Petty. Can't wait to see them on track. You know they're going to come back strong after this. Now, as I continued my pit walk after the practice sessions, I came across one Gage Gilby, the 25G, our eventual pole sitter for the Kenny Upol 150. Unfortunately, not the day they wanted either. 25G finished in 12th place, 3 laps down. Electrical issue took him out. Battery issue, I believe. But here's what Gage had to say before the contest started. Not a rookie anymore, now in his sophomore season. So here's a few words from the 25G before we got rolling in the heat races. And by the way, the wind tunnel that is Scotia Speed World did not disappoint. So on the next few, they're going to be a little windy, but bear with us. Here's what Gilby had to say before we got rolling. So we're just wrapped up 3 practice sessions here, Maritime Pro Stock Tour. Season opener, Kenny Upol 150 here with not rookie anymore, sophomore Gage Gilby. Listen, you got some experience last year, so what's your mindset going into this thing for season 2?
Same thing, just keep the car clean and the finishes will present themselves. I'm happy with our car today. I think we have good long run speed and super happy with it.
So this is race 1, it's a long season. We've already had some weather delays, so the boys are fired up. The car's ready to go, though?
Yeah, finally. I'm excited to get going with this crew. I can't thank the crew enough. They put a long off season in and got this beast ready to roll, and hopefully their work shows off tonight.
So what's the goal for today in this first race of the season?
Save our stuff to the end and see what we got for the end. Like I said, I'm super happy with what we got. So hopefully just keep the car clean and we'll see what we have.
All right, Gage, who you got on the car this year helping you out?
We got CKG Elevator, we got Supplement King Wolfville, we have Racing Construction, RYC Property Rentals, Fratco, Start to Finish Logistics, and again, all the crew and everyone that comes out and helps and supports. It means a lot.
All right, thanks, Gage. Best of luck today.
Thank you.
Next up on our pit walk was Corey Hall, and man, after the 3 practices, Corey knew he had a fast race car under him, but notice how he says he's not really chasing speed in practice. He's really chasing drivability and long run speed in these things, and look, he would have a dominant feature. As soon as he got the lead, he never gave it up. and won by quite a margin. I mean, I've got it as about half a track. And if I look at my trusty Speed Hive results, it was almost 4 seconds to Ashton Tucker in second place. So a dominant win for Corey Hall. Here's what he had to say before the green flag dropped. Found Corey Hall here after 3 practice sessions. Guess what? The 83 was first in the first practice session, the second practice session, and the third practice session. So, needless to say, that things working pretty good today.
Yeah, honestly, trying to work at not worrying about practice speed and just focus on the drivability of it. And with the conditions the way they are, I feel like it's really kind of brought the car to life. We struggled a little bit. Just both corners seem to have different tendencies, but we kind of got the best of both worlds right now. Just see how our heat race goes. I don't think it's going to be much of an outside, so we'll kind of have to follow in line and go from there. A lot of laps. And what's the key here today on, like you said, the weather's a bit colder than usual, so the car's kind of taking a while to warm up, maybe not reacting as you'd expect. What's going to be the key here today to be there at the end after 150 laps? Yeah, I think just taking it for what it is. Obviously, we're going to keep tire temp in it. Every time we've went out, it seems like our 6th lap is the quickest, so just cold and overcast, but hopefully the sun can come out a little bit, warm the track up, get some running on it. It might start helping them out a little bit, but just kind of try to take it a little easier and take Ashton's approach.
Yeah, well, right next to you, actually, next pit stall, he's signed up for the whole year. You're signed up for most of the year, so look forward to seeing you all summer long on the Maritime Pro Stock Tour.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Corey. I did get a chance to catch up with Ashton Tucker as well, and big news in the offseason for the Fort Garry Industries Maritime Pro Stock Tour to announce that Ashton would be competing on the tour full-time this year, all 10 races. And he's a threat to win everywhere he goes. I mean, go listen to our previous episode with him and Corey Hall and Jesse Thompson and just hear about how dominant his past couple of seasons have been. And he did not disappoint in the Kenny Upel 150. After starting outside 4th row, he brought it home 2nd, just methodically carving his way through the field and saving his stuff to the end, as he always seems to manage to be able to do. If Corey Hall was the class of the field that day, certainly Ashton was our Swift Springs Hard Charger Award, and he took home that contingency cash as well. So here's what Ashton had to say before the green flag dropped. Well, after we found Corey Hall in pit lane, we are next to his stallmate, Ashton Tucker. Ashton, big news around the FGI Maritime Pro Stock Tour. You're signed up for the whole year. This is race 1. How does it feel so far today after 3 practices?
Yeah, it feels pretty good there right now. We don't got crazy speed, but it's pretty consistent, and I think it's going to race well. But yeah, we're looking forward to the full year on the tour. It's something we wanted to do for a while now, just a lot of traveling, and so we're going to take on that bit extra travel this year and try to compete the whole year.
Right on. So far today, you are on the board of the top 5 leaders. The thing feels pretty good. Do you think you got something for these guys today?
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, not crazy fast speed, but I think we're pretty consistent, and I think it's going to race well tonight. So just try to keep the tires under it and be there late in the race.
Is there anything you do differently when the conditions are a bit colder than, say, midsummer? Does the car need anything different?
We're not really doing anything different. Obviously, it runs a little bit different and stuff, and not as much grip, but it is what it is, and we're all dealing with the same issues here today, so we'll deal with it together.
All right, best of luck to Ashton and the 2 crew today on the FGI Maritime Pro Stock Tour Kenny Upel 150. Thanks, Ashton.
Thank you.
And that was our very windy pre-race pit walk for you guys. Apologize for the wind noise, but there's just no way to beat that thing. You can do whatever you want. It was just howling at the track on Sunday, as it is most times with Scotia Speed World. That's kind of a hallmark of that track, is you just can't get away from it. Listen, so that was our pre-race pit walk. Now, how did things shake down as the boys got ready for the feature? Well, we know we had a few guys with new cars, and quite a few, actually. New cars for the 11V of Jordan Vino hopping into Greg Proud's old car. And actually, Jordan experiencing some clutch issues before the start of this one, but would manage to save it and did compete in the feature. Chris Hughes also still, relatively new, just trotted it out last year. New Fury car, new motor, new car for Ryan Van Orscott, as well as Russie. Braden Langell, obviously new car to him, first year running his own team in a butcher car. So yeah, lots of guys with new gear on the grid, so it would be interesting to see how that one played out. And let's get right into it. Here is how things played out in the Kenny Upul 150. Well, you know how things started out, and I'll just remind you the 25G on pole next to the 11V. Second row was Sam Rogers and Jared Butcher. Third row was Chris Hughes and Corey Hall. Next to, or behind them, I should say, was 25 of Ryan Van Orscott and the 2 of Ashton Tucker, followed by the 13 of Austin McDonald, the 26 of Braden Langell. Then you had the 88 of Russell Smith Jr. next to the 72 of Tyler Hawes. Second to last row was Garry Elliott and the 11 of Marty Prevost, followed by Alex Johnson by his lonesome in the last starting spot. So, by lap 10, you already had guys like Jarrett Butcher, Corey Hall, and Ashton Tucker on the move. The big dogs smelled the blood early on, and already by lap 10, these guys are making their way towards the front. Lap 12, we got a spin. That's Garry Elliott spins on the backstretch, brings out our first caution of the day. So what that would do is it would push our first competition caution of the day to, assuming we'd get another 50 green flag laps, about lap 62. And we did get a straight 50 laps under green, so the next competition caution came out at lap 62. But before we get to that, restart on lap 12, you've got Gage Gilby still on the front row. Jared Butcher is now next to him. Behind them is Jordan Vino having lost a spot and Corey Hall having gained a spot. The 2 of Ashton Tucker and the 25 of Ryan Van Orscott are behind them. And your fourth row was Sam Rogers and Chris Hughes. Now, by lap 25, you've got the 25 G-Wagon still in front. Jarrett Butcher behind him, Jordan Vino behind him, followed by Corey Hall, Ashton Tucker, and the 25 of Ryan Van Orscott. So the 83 and the 2 are in the top 5 by lap 25. The 88 was in 8th spot by that time. Russell Smith Jr., of course, keeping an eye on him because we know they're looking for a bounce-back season. By that time, by lap 25, he had made up 3 spots and was up to 8th place. Jarrett Butcher was hot on Gage Gilby's tail by lap 25 for the lead. Lap 40, the 25G and the 54 are opening up a gap to the 83 of Corey Hall. And by lap 47, Butcher takes the lead from Gilby, and the 83 of Corey Hall has already moved up to P2 by lap 50. And we get our first competition caution of the day on lap 62. A bunch of cars pitting, the 32, the 72, the 13, the 36, and the 80. And that's where the 80 just doesn't return. So that's where we lose Alex Johnson in his Pro Stock debut. Unfortunate really for M&M Sheet Metal and the other sponsors on that car, but great to see him make his Pro Stock Tour debut nonetheless. And off of that restart, the 83 takes the lead. Lap 65, the 72 of Tyler Hawes gives us a spin, which brings out the caution. So you've got Jarrett Butcher lined up on the inside because Corey Hall chooses the outside on the restart, and he would also choose the outside on a subsequent restart. So you know that Corey is figuring out that the outside groove is working maybe a little better than the inside groove, but your top 4 rows by that point are the 83 and the 54, followed by the 2 and the 25G, the 11V of Jordan Vino hanging on to a top 5 spot, next to the 25 of Ryan Van Orscott, and followed by the 26 of Langell and the 88 of Russell Smith Jr. After that, lap 75, Corey Hall's in the lead, followed by Butcher, followed by Tucker, followed by Gilby, followed by Vino. By lap 86, you can tell that Corey Hall is starting to stretch his lead a little bit, and he would not give that up for the rest of the day. 13 of Austin McDonald is up to P5 now. Those cautions kind of came out in his favor. He pitted, made adjustments to the car, so the day was looking a lot better by that time for the 13 of Austin McDonald up into 5th. We've got the 2 pressuring the 54 for P2 hard by later on in the race. Lap 101 is when Gage Gilby would hit the pits, and that was the beginning of what would be a fatal issue for the 25G. Battery issue would end up taking him out. He would return after that lap 101 pit stop, but had to retire the car at lap 147. Unfortunate day for Gilby and his partners. I mean, competed well in the first half of that race, and then this battery issue sort of slowly took him out, and as I said, had to retire the car on lap 147. Lap 102, we've got a cone loose on track. That brings out the caution flag. By that time, you still have Corey Holden in the lead, followed by Butcher, Tucker, McDonald, and the 11V of Jordan Vino. Lap 116, you've got the 2 taking P2 away from Butcher, and the 13 attacking the 54 hard for P2 as well. And he would eventually make that pass on lap 124. The 13 takes P2 away from the 54. So by that point, I mean, you've got 26 laps to go, and you've got Hall, Tucker, McDonald, Butcher, and Vino as your top 5. And the 83, I mean, he's gone by a straightaway by then. And the positions would not change after that, even though we had a heck of a battle for 3rd place, with Jarrett Butcher giving Austin McDonald all he could handle and then some in the closing laps to try and get himself on that last step of the podium. But it was not to be. Austin McDonald was able to fend off his attacks and did finish 3rd. So your podium at the end of the day was Corey Hall, Ashton Tucker, and Austin McDonald. The rest of the running order was Jarrett Butcher in a very close 4th place, followed by Jordan Vino. Solid top 5 for that team to start the year. They'll be happy with that. And no issues with the car. They kept it in one piece. You've got Braden Langell coming home P6 after starting P10, so you know he's happy about his day. P10 or P9 did he start? I mean, anyways, he made up some spots is the point, brought the car home in one piece and very close to a top 5. I mean, within a breath of Jordan Vino, I think 0.6 of a second maybe. You've got Sam Rogers finishing on the lead lap. He would be finishing in P7, last car on the lead lap. So good day for Sam Rogers, the sophomore. Difficult season last year as a rookie on the Pro Stock Tour. Mangled up that car probably more times than he wanted to last year through no fault of his own. Just wrong place, wrong time at some points. So they'll be happy to keep that one in one piece, and so will Steven Henderson. Sam brings home P7, followed by Marty Prevost. Solid effort from the Fall River driver. BTP construction team brings the car home in P8, followed by Chris Hughes. Chris Hughes' social media post following the race was just fighting a tight car all day. Didn't have the speed they were looking for. The 32 was tight and it just wouldn't handle the way Chris wanted it to. So it takes home P9. The car's in one piece. They'll put it back in the trailer, go back to Brackley Beach, work on it some more, and watch for them to do better next time. You know that these guys will get that Fury chassis dialed in and that new motor dialed in. It takes some time to get it right, but they will. P10 for Russell Smith Jr., the Nova construction crew. Again, as I mentioned, probably not the result they were looking for. Look for them to come back strong at Petty next weekend. Don't look at the weather forecast, by the way, for that region of New Brunswick for next weekend. It's far away. I'm not counting on another rainout, but it's not looking great right now. Anyways, 25 of Ryan Van Orscott picks up P11. Coming home one lap down, the Ron McGilvery Chevrolet involved in a collision. The nose of that thing is a little bent up. I don't know how well he could see out of that thing in the closing laps, but coming home P11 for the Ron McGilvery Chevrolet and crew from Antigonish. Gage Gilby is where you start to see the cars that ended the day in some trouble. Coming home P12, 3 laps down, followed by Tyler Hawes coming home P13, also 3 laps down. Garry Elliott, 14th place finish for him, completed only 87 laps, obviously an issue there as well. And Alex Johnson rounds out your 15th place after having completed only 62 of the laps. So again, not the start probably they were looking for in the number 80 M&M Sheet Metals machine, but looking forward to seeing them next time. Total of 4 cautions in this one, 2 lead changes. I'm not sure that's right. I think there were more than 2 lead changes there. Maybe I'm dreaming this up, but officially speaking, 2 lead changes. I guess that makes sense. You've got Butcher taking the lead at one point, and you've got Hall taking it away later on with the 25G starting on pole. So maybe that is right. It seemed more exciting than that to me, but let's trust the official numbers. Your Atlantic Tilt Load Heat winners were Gage Gilby and Corey Hall. R&D Performance, most laps led, was Corey Hall. The 25G, despite having to retire with some trouble, was fast. He does pick up the Eastlink Fastest Lap Award. Ashton Tucker comes home with not only second place, but also the Swift Springs Hard Charger Award. Chris Hughes picks up your QA1 Free Pass Award. Gage Gilby also, adding to his hardware collection out of this one, gets the 5-star Hard Luck Award, obviously with the battery issue taking him out. And the 72 of Tyler Hawes is your Lucas Oil Rookie of the Race. Now let's go to the podium and see what your winner, Corey Hall, had to say, as well as your second place finisher, Ashton Tucker, and your third place finisher, Austin McDonald. We'll start with P2 Ashton Tucker.
Just found our second place finisher, Ashton Tucker. Ashton, what a run today. Corey was the class of the field. He was out by a mile, but great second place finish for you today.
Yeah, I'm really happy with second. It's great. Great way to start the year off. Corey was kind of beat all day. We're probably second place at best. Nice for a late restart to see what we had. We might have had something for him, but we'll take second.
Yeah, great run by you today. What a battle behind you between Austin and Jared Butcher for third. Must have been nice to have a little cushion on these guys.
Yeah, it was nice to beat them. You know, they're going to be in the battle for the points all year long. I don't know if Corey's going to be here or not, but anyways, either way, it's a great day.
Right on. Congratulations on a great second place for the number 2.
Thank you.
And our third place finisher, my God, you held him off. Austin McDonald picks up third. Tell me about those last few laps with Jared Butcher all over you.
It was a good race. I mean, congrats to Corey and Ashton first. They both put on a really good show. I really thought we had a little bit more left in the tank there. We just got so strung up in traffic there in the early maps and just got real hot running so close to people. So we had to pit, pull off some tape, and I mean, practically come from the back again. Really happy with this car. It's kind of a new deal we're trying, and it's not a bad start. I don't really know what happened at the end. I mean, I drove by Jared clean. I'm sure we just wanted a podium at that end, but we did our best to protect the bottom. That's all we can do.
Yeah, you were wheeling that thing at the end. What a battle. Congratulations on a great third place for the 13 of Austin McDonald.
Thank you.
Thanks, Austin.
And now let's see what the winner had to say. Here's the post-race comments from Corey Hall.
And we've got our winner, Corey Hall. Corey, class of the field today, out in front by a mile. What was the secret?
I don't know. This car was just really good. I was a little unsure going into it, just the track conditions and the way it was going to go. But I mean, it worked out perfectly. I couldn't have asked for any more. The car was just great, and huge thanks to all the guys that come down today and put a lot of hard work into it. And just happy to finally get one of Scott.
Right on. Well, listen, well done. Ashton Tucker behind you. Quite a battle for third. I don't know if you saw any of it. You were out by a mile. But this guy had a battle of his life for a third place finish. Great day today for you, Corey, and look forward to seeing you next time. Always class of the field. Great result for you today. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Of course, congrats to Ashton and Austin. I was kind of looking in the mirror a little bit, and I thought Austin was going to get him. So, it was definitely good for a King competition to come out here and have a good solid run and regroup.
Yeah, Jordan Vino, one of your cars today, impressive. Held on to 5th place, I believe. Great day for King, great day for you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Great day indeed for King competition. Corey Hall and the Hicken gang. 4 out of the top 5 cars were King competition rides, so great day for them. Great day for racing in general. Just glad to be able to get this show back on the road after some inclement weather. I don't think that's the last of it that we'll face this year, of course. Don't look at the forecast right now for Salisbury, New Brunswick, or thereabouts, where we're about to go racing next weekend for the Mr. Lube Plus Tires 150 at Petty International Raceway. Right now doesn't look great, but it's far away. I'm not going to worry about that right now. That was your recap of the Kenny Upel 150 at Scotia Speed World. Now let's turn it over to a preview of the Mr. Lube Plus Tires 150 scheduled at Petty International Raceway next weekend, June 7th. Get your tickets now, maritimeprostocktour.com. Action gets underway at 4 p.m. Here's your sneak preview. All right, let's get to it. Your entry list for the Mr. Lube Plus Tires 150 at Petty International Raceway this weekend. Well, we got to hope that the weather holds off for Saturday anyway. If we can't get in on Saturday, hopefully we can get in on Sunday. But listen, as usual, we will proceed by numerical order and not by preference, I guess. The 08 Nicholas Naugle is back. And I want to emphasize that because I did actually have the chance to speak with Nick earlier today. His plans for the racing season in 2025. You're going to want to tune into that. It's coming up later in the episode. Just keep listening. Next, we have the 0 of Sam Rogers from Lower Onslow. Listen, good result for the 0 in the last race at Scotia Speed World. So they'll be looking to bring that hot rod back to Petty this week. Number 2 of Ashton Tucker will be with us. Our second place finisher, by the way, in the Kenny Upel 150, signed up for the whole year. We know that now, a threat to win anywhere he goes. So be on the lookout for the 2 crew. They will be with us at Petty. Same could be said for the 11V of Jordan Vino from Porter's Lake. Good looking hot rod, top 5 in the Kenny Upel 150, and it wasn't their best day, but we know they've got at least a top 5 in them, so it's going to be exciting to see what they can do this weekend. 13, Austin McDonald, King Racing, King Freight. Can't wait to see them again. Listen, Jared Butcher gave him everything he could handle in the final laps of the Kenny Upel 150, but Austin stuck with it and grabbed 3rd. The guy's a wheel man. Like, if you're getting nudged like that and the guy behind you is trying to move out of the way, but you keep holding on to it, can't wait to see what these guys can do. Great result last year for these guys as well, so don't count them out ever. Ryan Van Oerscott will be with us, the 25. Listen, if you looked at his social media post this week after the race, he's pretty fired up about that ride. He likes it. It's quick. They were able to establish some fast lap times at Scotia. Not the result they wanted, but look, I mean, it was race 1, and everybody, sort of goes through that. So can't wait to see what they bring to Petty. Same goes for the 25G of Gage Gilby. Look, the guy started on pole. Held it for a little while until, there was issues later in the race for them. Battery issue took them out. Can't wait to see if they can run a whole 150 at Petty. 26, Braden Langell coming back. Look, good day for these guys. Coming back in his own ride after, an absence from 2018 from the tour. Coming back to Pro Stocks in his own ride. They did well, and I'm sure they'll be motivated to do well again at Petty this weekend. Stevie Lively, the 30. Look, he's back. Motor issues, we know, in practice, or in testing, I should say. Blew the thing up. Couldn't do the Kenny Upel 150, but he did sign up for the Mr. Lube Plus Tires 150 this weekend at Petty. Can't wait to see him out there. Marcel Leblanc from Bouctouche, the 30L. Can't wait to see what these guys bring to the track again this year. As same could be said for the 32. Chris Hughes, Brackley Beach, new Fury chassis, new motor. Go look at his social media for the last week. They were fighting a tight race car all day. Didn't get to where they wanted to, but they get to try again next weekend. Can't wait to see what they bring. 36, Garry Elliott, Hot Rod. They're going to be with us. Gary's going to be out there doing his thing. Can't wait to see what the Quaker State machine does this week. And then we got the 41. We got the 41 back, Mike Rogers. Listen, I'm almost sad he didn't make the first race, the Kenny Upel 150, but I'm looking forward to seeing him at the Mr. Lube Tires 150 at Petty this weekend. You know he's quick. You know he's got a good car. King competition, Mike Rogers, quality individual, quality team. I just think there would be big things in store for that team if they were be able to commit to a full season, but we'll leave that right there. 44, Caden Tufts from Timberley, Nova Scotia. Accomplished Legends driver, but not only that, he tested before it got rained out last weekend. He was quick at Petty last weekend. Supposed to be super late model series race. They got rained out, but he was fast. So I can't wait to see what kind of times that team is going to put up this weekend with us on the Maritime Pro Stock Tour. Next is the 54 of Jared Butcher. Look, the guy gave Austin McDonald all he could handle in the closing laps of the Kenny Upel 150. You know he's hungry. You know he wants to defend his title. They'll be back with a vengeance this weekend at Petty. Can't wait to see the 54 team. Next will be the 83 of Corey Hall. I mean, what else can you say? Just picked up a win on the season opener. And I've talked to him about this before. Corey, what do you do if you win the first race? I know you're not intending to run the full schedule, blah, blah, blah. But I can't, at Petty, he's going to be good. He's a Mike Stevens Memorial winner. He knows the track well. He'll do well. And then we got the 88, Russell Smith Jr. Man, talked to him before the race last weekend. They're hungry. He was disappointed about how things went last year, and he's hungry to win. It didn't happen last weekend at the Kenny Upel 150 at Scotia, but he's going to be coming into this weekend at Petty hungry, just hungry for a good result, just to prove to himself that last year was just a blip on the radar and that they're going to turn things right back around again. So don't sleep on the 88 either. It's going to happen. So that is your grid for the Mr. Lube Tires 150. Now, let's turn over to my conversation with Nicholas Naugle about his racing program for 2025 and when you can expect to see him on the Maritime Pro Stock Tour this season. Happy to be joined today by the 08 Bricon construction driver, Nicholas Naugle. Nick, busy schedule. I'm catching you sort of snacking here because you've been busy lately, but what's going on, my man?
Yeah, no, we've definitely been busy. Work's been busy, racing's been busy, life's busy, but can't have it any other way, right?
No, that's the Naugle way as we know it. Listen, let's backtrack a little because here we are, just launched the 25th season of the Maritime Pro Stock Tour last weekend. You were not there. We didn't see you sort of for the last few races of last year, but so maybe let's pick it up from the September 2024 announcement that you had joined the Rackley War Racing Development Program and you were going to make your debut in the Southern Super Series at Five Flags. How was that, and are you still sort of on the path through that program?
So I got the opportunity to team up with Rackley War last year, going and preparing for the Snowball Derby, and it was a great experience. I loved it. It was the first time I ever got to really sit in the car at Pensacola and really feel like I had something under me. It was pretty amazing. I'm very thankful for that opportunity. But that was just a short little blurb that we were going to do. So we got to run the September race, which didn't really go as we planned, and then prepare for the Derby. And unfortunately, we just ran into some bad circumstances in the Derby, made the show. I was real happy with that. And we got tangled up there early and it ended our run pretty soon. But through the rest of the winter, I was able to take my own team. And we got to run the World Series of Asphalt at New Smyrna. And our main focus this year has been preparing for the Snowball Derby again. So I took it upon myself. We created a schedule and we decided we were going to run the entire Blizzard series at Five Flags with my own crew and just try and build a program that's really looking forward to that race again this year.
So what does that mean for fans back home that are looking forward to seeing the '08 again on the Maritime Pro Stock Tour?
You might see a little less in my face this year. The more focus has been on quality over quantity of races. So we don't feel like we want to rush to the track week after week and not give the car the time it truly deserves. So we've decided to take a small step back. It's not anything large. I don't want anyone to panic. We're not getting out of the sport. But with my focus on stuff down south, I knew we had a couple races would have to miss because I have to go down to Five Flags and do a few there in the middle of the summer. But our intent is to still race very competitively and make sure every time we show up at the track this year that the car is 100% where it needs to be.
So, having said that, hoping the rain holds off this weekend at Petty, you are signed up to go. Looking forward to making your first start back home this summer?
Yeah, we had the opportunity to go shake down the car last night, and I felt pretty confident with it. I was pretty happy with it. So we're going to take it home tonight, do a little bit of fine tuning, and be ready to go to Petty this weekend. It'll be good to get back on track with the guys I'm used to racing with. A little less guessing with how they're going to race, and it's just good to race on home turf. It's nice to be home again.
Well, listen, we're looking forward to having you. So, having said that, what does that mean for the rest of your summer? When can we expect to see you race in the Maritimes again in the next couple of months?
We don't have any real set in stone plans of what we're going to miss and what we're going to attend. But I mean, you're definitely not going to see us miss any of the big shows. We're definitely going to try for those. And we're going to pick a few fillers here and there. And we're going to probably, I'd say, run about 80% of the season. There might be the odd race here or there that we decide that the car wasn't ready. We don't want to show up at the track with cars that we had to rush on. We've done that for a while. And it happens and we make it work, but it's a whole different experience showing up with a car that you have the time to prepare. And unfortunate part is life does go on. We're busy here at work and I'm not complaining. I love it. I think it's great. And sometimes you just have to focus on the real world things. We don't get to sit in the shop all day and work on the cars, but the few hours we get every night, we definitely put quality into them.
Listen, I hear you. So when you say you'll definitely see us at the big shows, I'm guessing you've got the Summer Clash penciled in and you've got the IWK 250 penciled in as well, probably?
Yep, no, we'll definitely be at the Clash. We'll definitely be at the IWK. We plan to attend all the marquee events, and then, like I say, the tracks we enjoy racing, we'll definitely make an opportunity to go to. And I don't suspect you'll see us missing too many more from here on out, but I'm not going to guarantee that we're going to be at every race this year. The focus is on making ourselves a better race team. And unfortunately, when you start getting tied up in championship battles and stuff like that, you start focusing less on the races individually and more on the big picture, which there's a time and a place to do that. But we truly have always had the mentality that we're there to win races. I'm not content with finishing second.
Gotcha. Listen, I mean, as you say, I mean, your focus is really on developing your program down south. So we'll see you when we see you up here. Definitely for the big shows. You said you don't intend on missing much more of the schedule than we already got. So looking forward to seeing you back on track. Now, let's go back to your sort of focus on the U.S. racing for a bit. Was that a one race deal with the Rackley War program? Or are you still involved?
We haven't signed any deals with any other teams as of right now. That was more of we had planned on running the Derby with them, so we did a little bit of racing with them. And I didn't swear them off. They're a great bunch. I loved racing with them. It was a great opportunity. But just for right now, I don't think we were at the point where the cars were as much of an issue as we believe. It definitely makes a huge difference having a good car under you, and I'm glad. But Pensacola is a fickle mistress, and it's a very fine line you got to figure out. And having these 2 or 3 races in my own gear now, I've been able to fine tune my driving style and figure out where you really need to be on track and find where we're missing and what we're doing. But heading back to the Derby, you never know. You might see us.
Well, Nick, I hope we see you there again next year. Always a great representative from Nova Scotia down on U.S. tracks. Love to see you down there. Love to see you do well down there, or at least always competing. I'll leave you with this. I don't think I have to tell you. I think you know the result of the first race on the Maritime Pro Stock Tour this year. Corey Hall won, Ashton Tucker second, Austin McDonald third. If you would have asked me months ago what the results of that race would have been, that's probably the order I would have given you. We've got Ashton Tucker signed for the full deal this year. He is going to try to take the crown from Jarrett. We've got Corey Hall signed up for 6 of 10 races. How do you, knowing that, how do you mentally prepare for competition this year on the Maritime Pro Stock Tour whenever we'll get to see it?
It doesn't change a thing for me, to be honest. I'm very out the mentality. Once the helmet goes on, they're just cars. I don't care what numbers on them. I don't care who's driving them. It doesn't change anything. It's very much they're just cars that are in the way of me finishing on top. So the plan is to just drive everyone the same and basically pick our way and try and win some races this year. It's always the main goal. We put a lot of time in as a family team, and that's what all this began on, and that's what we're focusing on, is just enjoying it together as a family.
All right, Nick. Well, listen, wouldn't have it any other way. I know that's the way you run. Love to see you on track, and if the weather cooperates, I'll see you at Petty on Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. I got to make sure to give a big thanks to everyone who comes out every week to watch with us, and not to mention my sponsors like Bright Hunt Construction, Mobile One, McDonald Automotive, Conley Customs, and Celtic Air Services. Like they just support me so much. They help me get to the track every week. Not to mention my mom, my dad, my girlfriend, everyone who puts up with the amount of time that's spent out in the shop, and my whole crew. Like they're awesome.
I hear ya. Listen, like a true pro. I was gonna let you slide that in there, but listen, you know how it's done. Like I said, if the weather holds up, we'll see you on Saturday at Petty, my friend.
For certain. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Nick. Well, that's it, guys. You're ready for the Mr. Lube Tires 150 at Petty International Raceway this Saturday, June 7th. Let's hope the weather forecast improves, but otherwise, you're ready. You've got your comments from Nicholas Naugle, who's coming back to the Maritime Pro Stock Tour. You've got your entry list. Let's go. Let's go. Until next time, keep your belts tight and your hands on the wheel.